Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledge it, knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Topic Thunder is live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thanks for putting up with our foolish nonsense of coming to you on a Thunday. I just said Thunday. All right, that's just a good start right there. It's only at Topic Thunder 36. You know, I think maybe I figured it out over of course a half a year. Oh, hi folks. I'm Brooks. That's Ben. You are listening to Topic Thunder. You are in the Monday Night Thunderdome.
We're taking on the Monday Night Wars. Monday Night Raw, we're coming for you.
We are coming. Since it killed NXT, apparently, there's room. We're seeing opportunity for growth, rapid expansion.
Just saying. Topic Thunder Monday nights. Now, I like it better on Sundays. Typically, we like to do it on Sundays, but Brooks was gracious enough to allow me to push it a day. And then here we are, almost at 7:23, almost exactly as you predicted at 7:23.
You know, we got the old bozo computer back here in the office, so just kind of told it to do some weather stuff, and it said 7:23. We said go for it. But thanks for listening and tuning into this little internet saloon we call Topic Thunder. I wanted to give a shout out right now to Hard Boiled Gargoyle, who followed us on Twitch. You can find us on Twitch. We're under the Topic Thunder podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Now we've got that going. We're streaming on YouTube now too, the Topic Thunder podcast, and of course we're here on Facebook Live. So again, folks, thanks for joining us in this little chit chat, this neighborhood saloon pub chit chat we like to have here, especially in the comments, which is always the best part of the show. So we always like to start.
It's like a saloon. And that's only fitting that we start with a beer then, right?
Yeah, I drank a beer. And I guess something we don't do is encourage everybody to display or tell us what they're enjoying this evening. So put that in the chat too, if you're having a beverage or something along the lines of this Hefeweizen that I'm going to enjoy from Dovetail. I know I've had this beer on the show before. I don't care. Yeah. It's good.
Oops. Wrong screen.
No, or the right screen, because who really wants to watch a dude drink a beer? I mean, on the internet,
everybody seems to love it. It's that and the lightning round are people's two favorite things. So
I will recommend, because I don't know how you like your beer. I don't know if you're on that yet. There's the European spectrum where it's like you don't.
I like it as shitty as possible, Brooks. I like PBR, so I like it as shitty as possible.
Cold or warm though.
Cold. I didn't know that PBR, room temperature PBR, was a thing. I heard this in a comments of one of my friends from high school, and I was astonished by this. Is this a real thing that PBR is like a room temperature beer?
My friend, they've been brewing beer longer than they are able to make ice and keep it cold. So beer traditionally, especially in Europe, is consumed warm or room temperature.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I don't know. Try it because it's a different flavor. That's
what I'm saying. Billy Wax on it. It's pea beer. It tastes like pea.
Yeah. No, I used to just give it a shot because the old relatives in Poland, when I was over there, they looked at me cross, Ben. They looked at me cross.
Really?
When we're going to put the beer in the fridge.
I would not survive in Europe drinking beer, clearly, because I can't. The taste of beer warm.
So we were going along the original plan here for launch, which was 7. We obviously scrapped that and went for the better the weather window here. They call it
the monkeys, the test monkeys that got out of the cages.
We didn't say anything. There were no lab leaks. This show is now closed. But the Dovetail here had a chance to kind of sit out a little bit. It's not exactly warm room temperature, but it's a little warmer than football cold, and it's pretty damn good.
Billy Wax says here, a frosty mug is truly the way. It classes up the shittiest beer. I agree. Also, I want to point out we have a new commenter, Angelo Michael Panzica.
Oh, that's my buddy Angelo from our work. Let's just call it that, work. Surprisingly, folks, Topic Thunder isn't exactly paying the bills just yet, but
Hold on, you.
hold on. We just got a YouTube. We're gonna make money.
We have Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Like we're literally at this point, we can't go wrong. If people
We're
don't like
doing
our shit, it's
all
not.
right. HD cameras, phone, cool microphone. How okay?
What more do you guys want from us?
It's my buddy Angelo from work. So thanks for listening, Angelo.
Thanks
Shout
for,
out.
thanks for chiming in. Appreciate it.
So yeah, Dovetail Hefeweizen. It's a summer beer to go along with the headlines, ladies and gentlemen. We comb the internet here at the Topic Thunder offices for the headlines that maybe you're not seeing in your casual browsing of news and consumption of things, but we found rather important. So we sit here and we talk about them. And headline number one, just this little headline from the Intellectualist. Barr's Justice Department hired private executioners and paid them in cash.
I'm sorry. What now?
That's what I said when this was presented to me, of course, printed out because I don't deal with those screens when I'm reading things. and dot matrix too, okay?
Printed out. I love the idea that you have everything printed out for you. Like Gigi is like furiously printing out all the news that she wants you to read for the day.
In colored folders. So because I'm a blithering idiot. But you guys knew that. Let's get into this story. It just might be kind of important.
William Barr's fucking ugly head. Look at it.
Look at how many chins are in that picture.
By the way, next year's most punchable face tournament, William Barr must get in there.
That's going to be an interesting field.
It really is. It really is,
given everything that's happened. But in its hurry to use its final days in power to execute federal prisoners, the administration of President Donald Trump has trampled over an array of barriers, both legal and practical, according to court records that have not been previously reported. Officials gave explanations of their choice which prisoners should die that misstated key facts from the cases. They moved ahead with the executions in the middle of the night. They left one prisoner strapped to a gurney while lawyers worked to remove a court order. They executed a second prisoner. While an appeal was still pending, leaving the court to dismiss the appeal as moot because the man was already dead.
Right. I guess that would make it moot, right? That like he's already dead. So why are we even bothering with this? That's insane. Like they were in such a rush. Like, what is that about? Like, we've got to rush these deaths. Like, what is it? It's like a weird political play. It's just a weird political play, if nothing else.
So reporting, we're going to get back to this quote here because there's two sentences that if you weren't angry enough, I want to kind of stoke the flames a little bit, but ProRepublica noted that prior to 2020, the Justice Department hadn't executed anybody since 2003. Since July, the Trump administration executed 10 people and had 3 more slated to die before Biden took office. The last two sentences I want to point out to this, or down there actually, yeah, but they bought drugs from a secret pharmacy that failed a quality test. They hired private executioners and paid them in cash. The government won't disclose the contractors' names or profession, and it paid them in cash. And if we didn't pay them in cash, said a lawyer, they probably would not participate. What do you mean you won't disclose their profession? And it's not like they're getting somebody like, hey, Joe, the auto mechanic, do you want to push that syringe full of that green gook?
I can't wrap my head around this. Like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? Like, what was the point? That's what I guess that's what I'm wondering is like, why are you doing all this? Why are you paying people in cash? Why are you protecting these people all to rush these executions? For what?
I would like to know who those contractors are. And if you've been paying attention to the show, I would bet a box of donuts that Eric Prince was involved in this some way, somehow. And if you were not willing to disclose the professions, and I'm not saying you come to the table with a card that says professional executioner, like, here's my card. It's not, I'm sure it's not like that. I'm sure there's something clinical that they've come up with to describe themselves, right? You won't disclose their profession tells me something different.
Yes.
And reeks of torture.
Yeah, right. What if they weren't doctors or they weren't medical professionals? What were they doing executing people?
A dirty lab.
Isn't that supposed to be done by a medical professional? Right? I mean, the lethal injection is done. Maybe not. I don't know. I guess
I'm not an expert on that. I don't know. I mean,
this whole thing seems weird. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
And why? Why did they buy drugs from a dirty pharmacy? Why did they rush all these people to their deaths? One still in an appeal process.
How is that even possible?
Right.
If you have an active appeal open, like, you shouldn't. Like, basic. If you have an appeal open, you can't be put to death because it renders it moot, as we know.
Just a shout out to Red Pock who's tuning in. That's old school right there. Thank you, sir.
Right there. Thank you so much for tuning in, sir.
Dovetail is a good beer. It's a nice little brewery too. So if you're in the city and there's a nice little corridor in Ravenswood where there's a bunch of breweries up and down for about a mile. Dovetail's right off of Ravenswood on the north side. Good stuff over at Dovetail. So that's creepy, right? Our Justice Department, not Trump's. That's our Justice Department. We pay for justice. That's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do. If that wasn't dystopian enough, I got something for you. Check this out from Vice. Did you hear about this? Hear about Facebook shutting down their biggest critics?
That doesn't seem surprising to me.
Yeah, well, Facebook made good on its threat to kick out a group of researchers who had been among the platform's biggest critics. The Cybersecurity for Democracy project at New York University had revealed major flaws in Facebook's political ad transparency tools and highlighted how Facebook's algorithms were amplifying misinformation. Most recently, it helped track vaccine disinformation in coordination with Virility Project, a group that tries to neutralize false narratives spreading on social media. So they shut these researchers out. And these people have been, this information was free, right? Facebook publishes their, we've talked about how much information that they mine from us, from not only clicks or but what you say and what's said around you sometimes even shows up in search things that you're looking at. Like, all of that information is for sale. Then we've talked about how that's been weaponized. Here's a team that's just like doing research and going, hey, Facebook's saying this, but they're doing that. Facebook on this stuff, but won't shut down groups for Proud Boys or anti-vaxxer sites that are spreading all kinds of crazy rumors and misinformation. Shut down to critics.
Yeah, that is not a good look, right? Like, what if you're Facebook and you're going to ban the people that are basically watchdogging you? That means you're saying we're up to some shit we don't want people to really be looking into. And yeah, I mean, that's certainly a huge red flag that we should definitely be looking into that.
And we thank you for tuning in to Topic Thunder live here on Facebook.com.
Yes.
Speaking of a dystopian future, let's dive into it even more. The 20, was it 20? That was this year, right? 2021 tournament of Punchable Faces. Tucker Carlson. Mm-hmm. We thought he was going to be a shoo-in, and it took a walloping. Actually,
he did. That was my biggest surprise of the entire tournament.
Yeah, Tucker didn't last as long. I'm sure it's not the first time that's been said about him. He didn't last as long as we thought he would. Pew, 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 pew. Well, he went and vacationed over in Hungary. And we don't talk about what goes on in Central and Southeast Europe a whole lot, but it's not a friendly place for democracy. And there's a gentleman named Viktor Orban, who's basically now the de facto dictator over there now.
Interesting.
And so much so that him and his family sound familiar. Him and his family have done things to use the government to enrich themselves while shutting down their harshest critics. And now only channeled, there's 2 TV stations, and one is this flavor of one opinion and the other one's the different flavor of the same opinion. It's that kind of thing.
Newsmax and OAN.
Yeah. So Tucker Carlson went and he vacationed. He literally broadcast his show there for an entire week. Yep. Over in Hungary. And well, golly, he got censored. He went over there. It's actually the next story, but yeah, where he literally asked the Mr. Orban, the president or premier or what have you, the dictator now of Hungary, about the freedoms of China, and that got edited out, which is hilarious in and of itself. And I'll just take any opportunity to kind of dump on Tucker Carlson because he always looks like that face. He looks like he's constantly be shown a card trick he doesn't understand.
That's a good way to put it.
Look at that face.
He does have that face. Yeah, look at it
every time. Every time. That's what that's your go-to.
He is a terrible human being who is honestly, like, from all accounts, basically working everyone. Right? Like, we've talked about it on this show that people have kind of outed him as a source for information, inside information in Washington D.C. He's a long time been a source for both Democrat and Republican leaning publications. So a lot of him is fake, man. I think a lot of I don't think he believes in 90% of the shit that comes out of his mouth. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you're right. He's Fox News' own legal department in lawsuits defend themselves by saying that what he says shouldn't be. It's infotainment, that they shouldn't. Right. And same thing with Hannity. That's their defense, because when they say the outrageous, crazy shit that causes somebody to go shoot up a mall, or not the causes, I shouldn't say that for legal reasons. Thanks. I'm getting I'm getting this from the legal department right now.
Legal department at One Gimmick World is like,
yeah. So it is they craft it around like that. It's this hardline journalistic truth. Mm-hmm. When it's really not. It's just one guy kind of flapping his gums, and Hannity's even worse, but that's a whole different story. But because we understand that Tucker has bigger ambitions. And since when does a journalist want to be president? Like, those two things that they shouldn't be in the same calculus, right?
Yeah, I always look at it like this: like, Hannity and Tucker Carlson, they are the columnists at a newspaper, right? The columnists were always like, they were allowed to have an opinion because that's what they were hired to do. And those people didn't cross over to also be news reporters because you were a columnist or you were a reporter. And you had to just draw that line so that the reader understood whether it was opinion or it was fact. There was no blurring of the line. Well, when it came to TV news, they blew that line out of the water, and they were just like, fuck the idea of a columnist versus a reporter. They're all the same. And now we've just blended it so much that a guy like Tucker Carlson or Hannity, people believe them as if they're Walter Cronkite, but they're not. They're Alex Jones.
They are Alex. It's just carnival barkers. They're carnival barkers. All right. I think we've punished people with enough hard hitting, serious stuff. And while we try to tackle those things here on Topic Thunder, we also try to tackle some of the questions of the scientific world that you may have never thought to even ask. Other people have, and they've reported on it. And we go back to iflscience.com, ladies and gentlemen, for the Mariko-Aoki phenomenon.
Okay.
It's when you need to poop after entering a bookstore.
What?
In February of 1985, a 29-year-old woman from Tokyo sent a short letter into a magazine about an experience she had been having a lot. It would spark a slew of others reporting the same phenomenon, which would eventually be named after her. That's not good. I'm not sure why, Mariko-Aoki wrote, but since about 2 or 3 years ago, whenever I go into a bookstore, I am struck by an urge to move my bowels.
This is incredible. I've never thought of this.
Now, look, there's a lot more pressing issues out there than we realize, and we should probably deal with the whole COVID and cancer situation before we move on to desperately needing a poo while looking at a copy of 50 Shades of Grey. But it is an interesting, nonetheless, a phenomenon, largely due to the sheer number of theories people have come up with to explain it or to find out whether it even really exists.
Wow.
Odd phenomenon turned out to be fairly widespread, with many people writing into magazines say they have the condition too. People describe it as overwhelming, sudden, and unbearable urge to defecate, felt only in bookstores. For some reason, libraries just won't make you want to drop a deuce. They wrote that. I didn't.
Come on. What is this? How do we even figure this out?
They did link a story, but yeah, I just people. When's the last time we've been in a bookstore? I don't. I'm looking for people on the show list right here, and if there is there.
Recently, I go to Barnes and Noble here in town semi regularly,
Okay,
but it's because I'm looking for Funko Pops, not for fucking books.
right on. Billy Whack with a very good hypothesis. The Pavlov's dog.
It's the smell of coffee. Interesting.
It's interesting because they actually mentioned this here. Others have suggested it could be down to an association and some sort of reverse Pavlov's dog situation. Just as the bell made Pavlov's dog salivate through the association with food, in this hypothesis, the books made people want to defecate through the association of while reading books while taking a poop.
Chris Kowalski in the comments asks a great question. Is this why they closed borders? Because too many people were trying to take a shit?
It's too bad that Supreme's not on, because that man actually not only worked in a bookstore, loved it.
Yes, he propped up the business of Borders for many years.
Single-handedly.
By one man, yes.
One man. Yeah, we've kind of covered some metaphysical, esoteric things here on the show. We also throw some science in here. And now, well, those things might be just doing one of these, unbeknownst to all of us. I ran across a story on nautil.us. It's a blog.
Got it. Nautilus. I get it.
Right. And what it posits is this story, this research that they're doing. And it's one of those things that it starts getting into some really deep and like tedious stuff that you don't want to hear me read. So you just don't. Trust me, you don't. I get it. The title of the article is "Electrons May Very Well Be Conscious." And you don't have to get too far into it to go, okay, first of all, these guys are like, they're looking into some really crazy, serious shit, right?
Right.
They're studying the behavior of something that can only be seen through the most powerful electron microscopes we have. And the last time I was in chemistry class or any kind of physics class, and this is now they're going back like 15 years now, but the idea that the electron was like in a solid orbit around the atom was completely blown out of the way by the theory that it is a cloud, right? It's an electron cloud. And that those electrons could appear in that cloud anywhere they wanted to at any possible physical moment in time. That's how fast they move. And they even thought that they move so fast that they might end up in two spots at the same time. But that's how crazy this level of physics we're bearing down to the experimental theoretical stuff here.
Right.
There are signs, and they go and they used some sort of like a parasitic worm as an example. There are signs that the electrons behave in a similar fashion to some of the patterns of these very, very protozoan sort of organisms.
Okay.
I'm just, again, Nautil, NAUTIL.us. It's a blog.
It stands to reason, though, that if we are basically made up of, this on some level, right? I mean, that thing that makes us up would have a consciousness.
And anybody that's done mushrooms is going, yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. That's it right there. That's I couldn't say it, but yep.
Right.
Everything's alive. Everything's conscious. That's
Everything is a consciousness. Every electron, every atom that we're made up of has its own little consciousness, and it collectively makes our consciousness that we can see, touch, feel, and hear.
it's a different level of reality, and we get lost in all of this. We get lost in Topic Thunder. We get lost in our jobs and our families, and the idea that like somehow like that's it, right? That this is reality. Well, I actually came across a quote. We don't do like the quote of the day anymore, but I thought this was poignant because you kind of mentioned it, that how we're stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is from Emily Levine. The quote: "I love being in sync with the cyclical rhythms of the universe. That's what's so extraordinary about life. It's a cycle of generation, degeneration, regeneration. I am just a collection of particles that is arranged into this pattern, then will decompose and be available, all of its constituent parts, to nature to reorganize into another pattern. To me, that is so exciting. And it makes me even more grateful to be part of the process."
It's an interesting way to look at it. That's definitely that's a positive spin on the idea of death. Like, don't be afraid of the idea of death because you're just being repurposed. Is really what it is.
It is. It's Emily Levine's opinion, man. and speaking of opinions, thanks for the segue, Mr. Meek. Our opinion of gender and non-binary, it seems like this really hot new topic that everybody, not hot topic, but hot divisive topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's never been talked about before. Oh God, why are they coming out now? Why do they want rights now? What if I told you that the researchers have found the remains of 1,000-year-old person in Finland that may have been a non-binary Iron Age leader? DNA suggests a body buried in a feminine attire with swords had Klinefelter syndrome. We'll get into that. Modern analysis of a 1,000-year-old grave in Finland challenges long-held beliefs about gender roles in ancient society and may suggest non-binary people were not only accepted, but respected members of the communities, researchers have said. According to the peer-reviewed study in the European Journal of Archaeology, that trashy rag, DNA analysis of remains in a late Iron Age grave in Finland may have belonged to a high-status non-binary person. And what they found is not only a person was a male anatomically for the most part, but it was dressed like a female, had a sword with engravings that would have been not necessarily maybe female, but very gender neutral, but was also buried on top of a very elegant bed of feathers and rugs and furs. A very, very ceremonial and very, very...
it stands to reason. I mean, it stands to reason that there were non-binary people throughout the entire human civilization. There's always been homosexuals in amongst humans. It just stands to reason that there's always been this thing. This isn't something that just started in the last 10 years.
So we mentioned this Klinefelter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
DNA analysis, however, showed the grave held the remains of one person and that they had this Klinefelter syndrome. What that is usually a female has two X chromosomes and a male has one X and one Y. In Klinefelter, a male is born with an extra copy of the X chromosome, so XXY. Again, a normal female is two X's and a male is XY. So this male was born with XXY. Males with the syndrome, which affects about 1 in 660 men, are the extra chromosome can cause enlarged breasts, a small penis and testicles, low sex drive, and infertility. This is not the only civilization that held what we would call non-binary or non-gender specific persons to a higher level. They were not necessarily, I don't want to say the word worshipped, but they were certainly revered and elevated. And that would make sense, right? Because you're kind of both, right? And if you subscribe to an idea or a theory that the ancients knew genetics and knew a lot more than we attribute them to knowing, they might have saw that as a birthright. It certainly seems this way. They do posit the idea or the theory that he did come from some influential family, but they can't necessarily prove that right now. It's just something that stood out to me, and I was like, this is kind of cool, and it would make sense to me in a perfect world that you just go, well, that person, I don't know, maybe has a genetic disposition to greatness, leadership, understanding. I don't know. It's genetics, man. It's cool stuff, and that's what we talk about here on Topic Thunder. And we also talk about some crazy stuff. Uh-oh. I'm getting a text message, but I don't see Ben right now. Uh-oh. Can everybody see me? No. Uh-oh. I think, hey, if you're listening right now, it says we're live. Ben apparently got booted or dropped, but somebody send me a note really quick in the chat. Hi, yes, I'm here, but I've been waiting for this moment for 36 shows to finally grab the reins of Topic Thunder. And now, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's just you and I. No, it wasn't frozen there. I just wanted to make it really creepy and awkward because I thought that was, yeah. Well, let's see if we can. What did I do to Ben? It's not always what I did to Ben. Sometimes people just up and leave me. That's just sometimes these things happen. Oh yeah, thank you. I've been working on my creep. Ask Gigi. I don't know how to get Ben in because the way we worked this was that Ben was like the host of, again, did I mention we're doing like this new streaming software? Yeah, so like the way we worked it was that I was like the guest and he was the host. So I don't know now how to send him an invite. Hold on, this is going to be great. This is live TV, folks. This is live, not necessarily TV, but live entertainment for you. And this is really great for you, maybe joining us for the first time on Topic Thunder. It doesn't necessarily always go this way, but shoot, I don't want to have to close the show out and then have Ben restart it. That would be not cool. But maybe we should. Maybe we will. How about we'll do this, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to take a little break here. We're going to kind of reset, get the call right, and we're going to come right back. So I don't know, go collect, pour yourself, or deposit some fluids, and we'll be back here in just a moment. Please stand by. We'll be right back. Holy smokes!
Okay.
Let's come back
We've been live. Have you been live talking with people this entire time?
for a little bit. I'm gonna bow out.
Gotcha. There we go. Okay, so I apologize, guys. I don't know what happened.
But I'm back. Hi, remember me?
Yes.
Send me another one of those cool links. So we're
Got
not.
it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yes. Oops. So yes, thank you guys. Technical difficulties has been fucking ridiculous. For some reason, the internet that I have plugged in, the Ethernet cable, decided to stop working for a second, and now here we are. This is what happens with us, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we can't ever just have a broadcast consistently week after week after week and not have issues. It's what we get for trying something new, I suppose. All right, I think we're back.
Are we back?
I think we're back. I think we're live. I think there's 5 people. If I'm am I still hanging in with us?
Oh, folks,
you guys did, but thank you very much for doing so.
All right, well let's try to make it worth their while.
Indeed,
or is it while? I think it's while.
It's while, worth their while.
Yes. Worth their while. So let's talk about flying reptiles.
Flying reptiles. Okay, you got
talk about big fucking reptiles with wings that can fly, big teeth.
Yikes!
Because they found the bones of one in Australia.
Uh-oh.
And they posit that this terrible, and they have a nice picture for scale of a gentleman sitting next to the skull here of this horrifying nightmare.
Oh my god!
Yeah, share that with everybody. Go to sleep at night.
Look at this shit.
Thinking that thing was roaming about with wings and could fly and all that kind of fun stuff, right?
Terrifying.
It's a new petrosaur, which had a wingspan of around 7 meters. Now, we went ahead and asked the old Google what 7 meters was in feet, and that turns out to be 30 feet.
30 feet.
Wingspan.
A reptile with a 30-foot wingspan. I'm telling you, Brooks, frightening. What was going on this planet before thousands of years ago was fucking frightening. Giant everything everywhere wanting to eat you all the time.
What disturbed me was that they claimed that this is only one of 100 species that they found of flying reptiles. Okay. 100. That's what. And there's a quote from the story: varying between the size of a sparrow and a fighter jet. Yes.
Oh my god! Could you imagine a reptile the size of a fighter jet, just whatever the fucking noise it makes, just whooshing, like just flying around your neighborhood?
Your dogs, not even your dog, like little children. Yeah.
You couldn't go outside.
No,
because the giant fucking flying raptor in the fucking sky, it's as big of as a goddamn jetliner, might eat your children while they're outside.
Yeah,
fucking
no thanks. Just how terrifying life can be, I guess. But
really?
On the flip side of it, sometimes life provides you with these great little nuggets that we want to share here with you next.
Causing
chaos. You see that video of that guy on that flight that they had the duct tape?
I have not seen the video. I heard about it, but I have not seen the video.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody tells the story better than not only I, but anybody else on this planet could. So why don't we roll with the story, and Mr. Riviera will better explain.
Belligerent passenger causing sheer chaos in the air. And it got so bad that flight attendants had to duct tape the man to his seat. Ever since masks were required on airplanes, flight attendants say that their work has become downright dangerous.
Now understand something. I'm a flight attendant. That means I attend the flights. Sometimes our job has us attending to crazy people. If you push us too far, you're going to have to attend this ass whooping. You see, because on this particular flight, I'm sitting in the jump seat and I'm just looking at him like a damn fool. He's spitting and cussing and going crazy. I say, that's enough. I got up and I walked over there. And by the way, This man smelled like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, 4 shots of Everclear alcohol, and regret. So I know something's about to go down. At this point, he touching all over my coworker's breast. And where he f***ed up at is when he touched my titties. Because I don't play that. So what I did is I took out the duct tape. I said, he got scared, start stuttering, say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. I said, yeah, we about to mummify your ass now, boy. So we wrapped him up. Better than any Christmas present you will ever see. He won't be coming on no more Frontier flights at all.
Dude, we need Alfredo Rivera in the Siege Perilous yesterday.
It is actually a stand-up comic too, apparently, and it pays the bills as a flight attendant. In a Captain America shirt, no less. So amen. And having been,
I love this guy. This guy needs his own television show, whatever it is. Give me as much of Alfredo Rivera as humanly fucking possible.
Can you imagine the bump he's going to get from being mentioned on Topic Thunder,
dude? The life alone.
Yeah. And we're happy to give like that too, ladies and gentlemen. We're happy to give like that. Speaking of giving, I have a fantastic big to share with everybody. I'm actually really excited to share it with everyone because it is everything Topic Thunder is and everything we talk about all kind of wrapped up into one kind of hilarious,
perfect. I love it. I can't wait. I don't know anything about it. I am going into this completely blind. So on the other side of this break, we will have the first big that we've had in a couple of weeks.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Check it out. The good people at Deltex8.com that keyword Topic Thunder for a discount. That's good stuff. We give and we give and we give here on Topic Thunder. And I think I sent you the link. Did I not?
Twitter. It's a Twitter link, right?
It is a ginormous Twitter thread. And we like to talk about what political theater, we'll call it, right? Mm-hmm. Especially nowadays where it's just become so toxic and extreme, over the top, and kind of almost, movie-esque, right?
Yeah.
The use of crisis actors has long been a finger pointed towards the left.
Yes.
Right, by our good friends on the other side of the aisle, as they used to say.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy Hook.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Going back to the Sandy Hook fucking thing, there are people that genuinely believe that tragedy did not happen, and everyone that you saw on the news was someone hired to act like they were part of a crisis. Think about that. And I get it. There is actually a thing. There is a job that is called crisis actor, but it is completely taken out of context from what I understand of it. And I'm sure we'll get into that maybe.
I don't know the actual definition of what a crisis actor is.
It is a legitimate job. If you look it up, you can find there are crisis actors. I don't know why they exist, but they do.
I know there are paid protesters. So maybe this story kind of brings all those great elements together. What we have here is a gentleman named Chad Loder. I don't know if that's any relation to Kurt Loder. I don't know.
So,
on Twitter, his handle is at Chad Loder, Loder. He calls himself the Antifa Street Preacher. And what he's done is remarkable.
Interesting. Okay.
He has done a ton of research and actually boots on the ground interviews of anti-vax protesters who are paid actors. And he tracks down and links them to not only their IMDb, but a talent agency that, as we dive further into this thread, you might start seeing some really interesting names on this list from this very talent agency's website.
Really? Okay. So
I wouldn't be excited about this in a huge long Twitter thread if I thought like, holy shit, somebody just caught these people red-handed.
Sure.
So there's a couple of videos.
Yes.
And we can certainly kind of look at some of the videos and see how Mr. Loader approaches his man on the streets kind of deal.
Okay, let's check this out. So this is arguing with an anti-vaxxer.
This is Ashley Jeffrey. He's an actor with an IMDb profile. He has no visible means of income. He has unlimited free time to attend anti-vax events 5 days a week.
On here because you're just trying to instigate.
I not instigate. I'm not going to get violent or anything. I just like to make people look stupid and stuff. And people,
how are you doing that?
People out by letting you speak.
No, really? Who's looking stupid, me or you?
Show everyone your shirt.
Here's the thing: we're living in dangerous times because thousands of doctors are being censored. Thousands. Look up America's Frontline Doctors. AmericasFrontlineDoctors.org. You get a lot of.
I actually spoke to them last weekend. Dr. Sherwood?
Dr. Sherwood, that's right. Naturopathic doctor.
And they're all full of shit.
Why do you say that?
We treated people in a way that was very natural with food-based products.
So the people that are like being censored, they're being censored because they're like quack doctors that shouldn't have licenses.
Thousands of doctors?
Quack doctors. And a lot of them have their merchandise where they're trying to...
That's Ashley Jeffrey, again, actor with an IMDb profile. What are the chances? What are the odds?
What are the odds, right?
I don't know. This is Shiva Begheri, a.k.a. Shiva Gordo. She's an anti-vaxxer and organizer of the Beverly Hills Trump rallies. She's an actor with an IMDb profile. She has no visible means of income and attends rallies 5 days a week.
Jesus. Look at these guys.
This is Jason Lefkowitz. He's an anti-vaxxer and anti-masker. He's an actor and failed stand-up. I love when they say shit like that. Failed stand-up comedian. I mean, aren't they all really? They're all chasing something in their head that they never can, like, never mind.
Yeah.
He has an IMDb. He has no visible means of income and attends rallies 5 days a week. Next is Nick Yaya. He's an anti-vaxxer, anti-masker, wears a white lab coat and pretends to be a doctor.
Jesus.
He's an actor with an IMDb profile, no visible means of income, and attends rallies 5 days a week. And we can keep going here, right? Because there's more. We could look at Mr. John Strand, who is an indicted Capitol rioter and now communications director for the Quack Front, America's Frontline Doctors. Wait, wasn't that something that way up at the top that Ashley Jeffrey was saying that like all of these thousands of doctors from wait, what was it again? The America's Frontline Doctors. Okay, so this is John Strand. He's the communications director for American Frontline Doctors. John Strand is an actor and a former underwear model with an IMDb page.
Jesus.
John Onaga, anti-vaxxer, anti-masker, small-time director and producer, no visible means of income, and has time to attend rallies 5 days a week.
Ryan, you're so right. Like this thread right here could have at least its own sub bracket to itself in the Punchable Faces tournament. There are a ton of punchable faces here. Like this Roman Drake guy, this guy right here, definitely. Like he's like a cross between Dave Matthews and that Josh Fauerstein guy. You remember that guy?
There's a little Jon Favreau in there too.
A little Jon Favreau. Yes.
So, okay, we can keep naming all these schmucks, right? Let's get to the meat here. Let's get to the meat, because if you thought that was like, oh, Brooks is onto something here. Oh, I am. Let's keep scrolling down. Let's talk about that talent agency that it's called Explore Talent. And you'll notice the list of out of work models.
I'm not seeing it in this thread, Brooks. I don't know if I'm missing it or.
All right. So
I see. So you can see on the screen here. I see like I saw the Nick Yaya guy.
let's go. Keep
Then we have
scrolling.
Roman Drake.
Yep. Keep going.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Oh,
show
okay.
this thread there. Yeah.
I fucked
That's for drama purposes. Oh, look at that guy. He's
Another fuck.
no visible means. I love it. No visible means of income. Keep
That's
scrolling.
Andreas 5 days a
This
week.
gets better. Look at this guy.
Oh,
Here's
there's
that John Strand.
Look at that guy.
Look at that guy. That guy's sure. Here's Paul Onaga, another small time. Yep, keep going. Now we look at that guy, and now we get to somebody of real interest.
Wait a minute. Stan Lane's daughter?
Stan Lane's daughter. I'm sure it wasn't her only talent agency, but signed up with a talent agency called Explore Talent.
Wow.
Let's also recall that Lauren Boebert, 6 months before she ran and won her seat in Congress through Colorado, got her GED 6 months before.
It's amazing. I Colorado is a fairly liberal place, and the idea that this wacko, clear and obvious wacko, who has no business being in public office at all, got elected. Other human beings elected this woman to an office.
So she's a congresswoman, right? So she's not a senator. She's a representative. And there are parts of Colorado, especially Colorado Springs, where the Air Force bases are that are pretty red.
Okay.
So I don't know her exact district, but I would guess that.
Still, it's just amazing to me because she's on that. She's got that Sarah Palin vibe. She's riding that Sarah Palin wave of like the hot mom looking Republican who's willing to say what the boys say.
Okay. So let's keep scrolling down that thread there.
Sure. Oh, look at this.
This is Anna Kate, the honeypot who Blackwater founder Eric Prince recruited to try to seduce State Department employees.
We talked about that. Those of you that have been longtime listeners will remember this exact story. That's incredible.
We've been pulling on a thread here. We didn't know where it was going to go, but we're broadcast journalists here. Damn it.
Bottom of some shit right here.
This is some shit right here. Let's keep going. Look.
By the way, if that's really her, she's kind of hot.
Oh, sure. Cool. How about this one? You remember this lady?
Oh, yes.
Same talent
How can you
agency.
forget this lady?
Same talent agency. Same.
No shit.
Are we seeing a pattern here? Let's keep going.
Scott Pressler? I don't know.
I didn't know this guy, so I had to look him up. He's a jerk.
Obviously. Just look at his face.
Keep going, because we're not even at like the knockout blow here.
Brandon Straka. Okay.
Sure. Congratulations.
Wah, 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 wah. Would you look at that?
Candace Owen and Tommy Lahren.
No shit.
Came from Explore Talent's talent pool. The same talent agency provided all of these people. All of them. So when you hear people say, yeah, there was no Russian interference, there was no, maybe Putin's not stirring this pot himself, right? There's a plan in place, and there's an information war going on, and we are just waking up to it. They've been at this for years. Mm-hmm. Here's the smoking gun that they are hiring. Whoever this is, maybe not Russia. Maybe it's the underwater Antillians.
Maybe it's just the Republican Party itself.
Right. Whoever.
Right.
Whoever. To gain power, this is what they're doing. This is who they're putting up there and telling us, that this person's legitimate. This Tucker Carlson guy's legitimate. Mm-hmm. Wait, if you know anything about Tucker Carlson's background, you go, wait, that guy's telling me about like working class ideals and morals and what?
Right. He grew up on a yacht for all intents and purposes.
And here we have the same people, the smoking gun of all of these pundits pushing the same stuff. And it is in the middle of a pandemic, pushing anti-vax and anti-mask. Okay, I'll give you I'm getting real tired of it as a healthcare professional. I'll be honest with you. That's a separate conversation for a separate podcast. You didn't come here for that.
Right.
I have a small window of understanding for the anti-vax or like I'm not okay. All right. But the anti-mask stuff, get bent. Seriously.
DeSantis is now saying he's going to withhold teachers' pay if it's reported that these teachers are requiring children to wear masks in Florida schools.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Woo! Isn't that their platform? But we're not going to pay you.
We don't want the government telling us what we can do, unless the government is telling someone that we agree. Unless the government is doing something that we agree with to someone that we don't agree with, then we're cool with that.
And unless I'm the government telling you what to do,
right? I'm the government telling you that you're not allowed to require people around you to wear masks.
Right. And also telling you that I'm anti-government.
At the same time.
And it's like, which side? Which side? What side? What side? And the fall, the trick, the mental gymnastics that you have to do to buy this.
It is totally unsurprising to find out that that attractive women that are at the forefront of TV conservatism are all basically actors that were pulled from a talent pool and said, this is your gimmick. I mean, I always knew you look at Tommy Lahren and Candace Owens, you know that they are only putting on an act to get attention from a certain group of people, right? Like Candace Owens is the attractive black girl who will say things that old white men agree with. Tommy Lahren is the same. She's the blonde-haired, hot chick that will also say things that old white men will agree with. And so they play and they cater their sex appeal to these conservatives. It's 100% what's going on.
And we know that. And we know that they use sex as a weapon. And we've seen how what was her name? Maria. I can't think of her name. But the Russian, she's the Black Widow, right? She had her honeypot all over the NRA. And of course, like, this isn't anything new. Like, sex has been used as a weapon as long as sex has been around. It's nothing new. It's the same. But we got, and I say we, the royal we, as a country, as a civilization, people here in the United States, we got soft, fat, and stupid and ignorant and thought that everything was cool, and that like we won, whatever that meant, right? And outside of our like super sweet bubble, like there were bad people planning bad things, and while we kind of got fat and stupid, they got angry and got revenge.
Right. I mean, you're talking about places around the world that were already had enough of America sticking their nose in their business, right? Then you have exactly what you're talking about. The 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s ushered in this sort of excess of materialism, right? And the internet obviously expands upon that even more. And we got fat and lazy. And meanwhile, these places that we spurned and beat, right? And stuck our nose in their business, they're now saying, well, we're going to go about this a different way. And we're going to play the long game. And it's been the long game. And now here we are 30, 40 years into the long game. And we're seeing it all play out now. You've led me down this. You've given me the breadcrumbs down the trail, leading me to say, okay, this is where this goes. There's too many breadcrumbs for us not to be going in this direction. It seems fairly obvious at this point.
It just, and I'll caveat the whole thing and say I could be the conspiracy theorist, and maybe there are reptilian UFO aliens like running the government. And
I'd almost prefer that to be.
there would be some form of comfort to that, right? That it's something that we completely don't understand and that is alien to this
literally
world.
reptilian people.
Right. And we don't understand. Unfortunately, it's something we do understand. It's the nature of man in that regard, right?
Yep.
It's just the nature of the world. Like, just because like we were taught history, it doesn't mean that history is still going on right now. Right? This is going to be taught to people in 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years, just like we were taught those things that happened at that same period that time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is going to be looked back at a time where people are going to say, wow, somebody was able to topple or at least discredit in a very large way the largest democracy at that point in the world. And they did it from the inside. They did it without firing a single bullet.
Yeah. How about it? That's the most impressive part about it, is that they're going to do it without, they have grown this discontent and they have lost no one. There's no casualties. No Russian lives have been lost in the effort to fuck with America.
Well, he's too busy killing his own people. So he doesn't need our help.
Brooks, he doesn't kill them. They stab themselves and throw themselves out the window.
I forgot about that. I forgot. It's like
how it happens in Russia.
That they're taught two things, like right in like second grade, like how to pull the fire alarm. And if you're ever going to kill yourself, jump out that window. That's how we do it.
Stab yourself, then jump out the window.
Right. Because that's how we do. That's how we do in Russia. Wow. Do you... Ladies and gentlemen, that music, that noise, that sound, it can mean only one thing. A lightning round! I don't know why I say it like that. I just did it, but I did it.
It feels good.
It does, actually. It gets that kind of like, it tickles that like you smoked a pack of unfiltered Camels part of your throat. Lightning round, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need any introduction to that, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. It's 3 stories, 3 headlines that I read, and you, the Topic Thunder audience in the Monday Night Topic Thunderdome, vote on, and including Ben. So let's just get the headline number 1. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. James Brown, wow, former Paralympian convicted of causing a public nuisance after gluing himself to a British Airways plane.
So this is a different James Brown then.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
I would assume, considering here we are. Every time now, it's gonna be like it's gonna be Boris and Bernstein. Every time we hear that name, James Brown, we go, wow. Different James Brown. The actual godfather of soul is dead. This is not breaking news either.
All right, before we kicked off of Facebook,
yeah, that'd be funny. Anyway, headline number 2. Anti-vaccine protesters storm BBC headquarters years after it moved out. And ladies and gentlemen, headline number 3. Florida man tries for days to get large iguana out of his toilet. Let's run through that one more time, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody playing at home. Number 1, James Brown. Wow. Former Paralympian convicted of causing public nuisance after gluing himself to an airplane. Headline number 2. Anti-vaccine protesters stormed the BBC HQ years after it moved out. And
that's
headline,
hilarious. It's not going to win, but that's hilarious. Although Angela is voting for the British idiots.
Headline number 3, Florida man tries for days to get large iguana out of his toilet.
It's really, really difficult to vote against any story that begins with Florida man.
So we're gonna go with, we have one vote for number 1 from Billy Whack. We have
Hayden is going with number 2. Angela voted for number 2 as well, the British idiots. So that's 2 votes.
2 votes for 2. For all those still with us here after,
I'm going to go with the iguana. I'm going to go with Ryan Hansen and the iguana dump. Now we have another vote for number 1, Chris Kowalski.
We are literally in a tie. It's literally 6 votes split evenly across the board here.
Biz.
Biz,
saying Florida always gets me, but I'm curious about the glue guy. So you haven't really helped us. You haven't. You got
way to make a call, Biz. Way to ride that line.
Billy Wax. Number one is great because a guy named James Brown glued himself to an airplane. That's pretty fucking awesome.
I'm not trying to. I don't want to influence the audience and the voting public out there, but there is a picture of this of James Brown. Wow, glued to the airplane, and he's kind of doing a James Brown wow-esque kind of move.
So Biz does officially vote for the glue guy. Ryan Hansen is asking, I don't know where my mom is. My mom is usually the tiebreaker, but she is not here. She's not listening tonight. She's usually a Sunday night listener.
All right, so it looks
I guess Florida guy. So I guess the glue guy wins. James Brown. Wow.
I think we're there. Maybe a last couple seconds to vote, but it does appear that we're no gloating. There's no gloating here. Everybody wins. Everybody wins in the lightning round.
Fiona loves the glue guy story. So there's another.
Yeah. Wait. All right. Now she's emotionally manipulating me. Your winner for tonight's lightning round, ladies and gentlemen, James Brown. Wow. Former Paralympian convicted of causing public nuisance after gluing himself to an airplane. The Extinction Rebellion activist climbed on top of an airplane as part of a protest against flying at the London City airport. I should probably send you the article so you can.
You're against. So he's protesting flying. Like there's a lot of things worth protesting before you get to flying on the list of things that we should really be spending time.
There's Mr. Brown right there. I didn't want to say his full name because now my throat's getting a little raspy. The two-time gold medalist who is partially sighted, which means kind of blind, spent an hour on the jet, which was destined for Amsterdam, before firefighters removed him and he was arrested. Northern Ireland-born Brown had glued his right hand to the plane before placing his mobile phone in the door to keep it from closing, the jury heard. He had live streamed his actions on Facebook. The 56-year-old from Exeter represented Great Britain in cycling and athletics during 1984 Paralympics before switching to Ireland's team to compete in cross-country skiing. Wow, this guy really gets after it.
Yeah, wow.
Prosecutors said that his actions cost the airline 40,000 euros and affected more than 300 British Airways passengers. Brown said he had to do something spectacular to draw attention to the climate crisis. Representing himself in court, he denied one count of causing a public nuisance. Come on, man. There's a picture of you glued to the airplane. That's a public nuisance.
Right.
You're a public nuisance. But a jury found him guilty after deliberating for less than an hour. You think? What's the charge? What's the charge again, Bane?
Prosecutors just held up a picture.
Yeah. He's been a public nuisance. He glued himself to a plane. Oh, we got the proof. We got a picture right here. That's proof enough. I say he's guilty. It took you less than an hour. That should say the jury didn't leave the booth. They all stood up and said, "That we got
this." Yeah.
Dude, James Brown, wow. You're guilty as fuck, so we got a picture of you on the plane glued to it. He was gutted, apparently, by the verdict.
Yeah,
completely unprepared that someone was going to go, yeah, man, you got to glue yourself to a plane and held up like 300 people. You fucked up collecting flights. Thanks, James Brown. Wow.
Yes, Hayden, I will totally take you up on that. I am annoyed by the pop-up ads when I bring up stories, and I don't know how to get rid of them. So yes, any help that I can get, I will definitely appreciate.
Right? It's just his hand too. Commit, asshole.
Commit. Exactly. Glue your balls to it or you're not a man.
Right. There you go. You want to make a statement? You want to do something spectacular?
Glue your nutsack to the airplane. Which would also be the show name if we did show names.
And it's going to be my motto. I'm going to get a bumper sticker for my car.
Glue your nutsack to the airplane.
Yes. And that's going to, when people come up and say, hi, how you doing? Glue your nutsack to the airplane.
Sir,
hi.
Seems inappropriate. I just wanted to know if you wanted fries with that.
Well, I told you how I felt. And this is how I feel about this. This is Topic Thunder number 36, and we're happy to have you along for the ride, ladies and gentlemen. Your participation makes this so much fun. It makes it worthwhile doing. We hope to entertain you for a long time, so thanks for tuning in. Ben, as always, thanks for spinning the dials back there and making things work. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. Thanks for listening to Topic Thunder. Rapap.